Alright, here we go. What is up, YouTube? HPJ here, and no, this is not actually a um, return of the Power Rangers collab. No, I wanted to do a video on the Power Rangers collab because I hadn't done the video on the Power Rangers collab when it was initially released. So, guess what? I am now. So, everybody in the NA server, hi. And those in the JP server, hi. Welcome to HGJ's discussion video as we talk about the Power Rangers collaboration that happened October 28th of 2019. This was the NA exclusive for our audiences here in the NA server for the Power Rangers. Yeah, can you believe that? We got a Power Rangers collab. And there's actually some history about this collaboration that I'll be talking about in today's video because for many of you who don't know the history behind Power Rangers, the Power Rangers are based off of the Super Sentai series in Japan. It's a more modernized, well, westernized version of the Super Sentai. And we actually were all, when this Super Sentai series came in, they were already going through a whole nother Super Sentai series that we ended up getting later. Some of the Super Sentai series we never gotten because there was copyright situations that were going on. And some of the series, you know, the rewrites and everything. It would have just been very difficult to really take a look at such a series and do a longevity of it. I'm sure if you go on YouTube and stuff, you can find clips and videos and stuff on the Super Sentai and the Power Rangers and how the Power Rangers became to what they are now, what they have been beloved here in North America, and all the additional stuff I'm sure many of you would just eat up. Because the history of the Power Rangers is beautiful. It is a very delicate situation to talk about at times, but as a fan of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, I wanted to say to all the actors and actresses and those who have worked on the series, thank you so much because I do appreciate the longevity of things that you guys have done. And Puzzle and Dragons also wanted to take advantage of that too by basically giving us a look and visual of the Super Sentai series. And you guys, the Power Rangers. This is also funny enough to say because during the time this collaboration was going on, Japan had already received the Yokai Watch collaboration. We never received the Yokai Watch collab here in the States. It was basically overshadowed. No, it was overlapped. If you look at some of the card numbers, according to the wiki, it says some of the card numbers overlapped with some of the card numbers from the Yokai Watch events. So I don't know exactly if there was a lot of the overlapping due to the Yokai Watch situation, where we probably had to deal with copyrights behind it. But it kind of makes sense if you think about it, of why we never got the Yokai Watch collab. But we did get the Power Rangers instead, which still pretty cool. I honestly am happy we got Power Rangers, but it's still sad that we didn't get Yokai Watch because Yokai Watch was not bad. It's just unfortunately American audiences were so wrapped in Digimon and Pokemon that we never got a lot of other monster capturing based series, and that lasted as long as those two have. Even when both Pokemon and Digimon went through a very rough patch, they still managed to keep things together. So what is up with the Puzzle and Dragons collaboration? Because we're going to be talking about it. There are a ton of evolutions and a ton of things that were given to this NA exclusive event. That's right, NA exclusive, meaning that we in the NA had got this in our Japan, um, which was common for a lot of collaborations. I should also mention that, where Japan would get exclusive, but we wouldn't. But we would also get exclusives they didn't. And if you were in the EU before your servers shut down, you were just getting whatever we had. So, yeah. Sorry about that, but not really because that had nothing to do with us. And we heard there was some stuff going on that we kind of do understand why you guys never got it. But, I mean, never kept Puzzle and Dragons. But hey, you can always APK it. Welcome to the year of 2025 where APK still exists, and you can play both the Japanese version of Puzzle and Dragons and an American version of Puzzle and Dragons. So yeah, this was a 10 Magic Stone Godfest exclusive event. Collab event. You are able to exchange for high rarity roles in the event as well. There was also, in addition to this, a monster exchange variant for multiple cards, as well as evolutions and weapon assists for the collaboration as well. So for the 7 stars, we have the Mighty Morphin Red Ranger, we had the Megazord, we had the Mighty Morphin Green Ranger, the Ranger Slayer from the comics, and Lord Zed. For the 6 stars, we had, of course, the Black, Blue, Pink, and Yellow Ranger. Then we had Ninjor, the Zeo Megazord, and Zordon. Now, most of these you could easily get from just rolling in the machine. But the ones that you can exchange for were all the 7 stars. So Jason, or well, it was Jason, because if you read the text boxes that were in the bottom, it was stuff that would be for like the active skills and the leader skills. It's stuff said by the original 5. So Zach, Trini, Kimberly, Jason, Billy. Well, 6, because I also have to include our boy. Um, Tommy. Sorry for not including you, Jason Frank. And rest in peace, Jason Frank. And Treats Frank. If you don't know that the original Yellow Ranger actress here in the States and the original Green Ranger / White Ranger, the Dino Thunder Black Ranger. Tommy has a lot of appearances in the series, if you haven't already known. But Tommy is known for the most Ranger colors throughout the Power Rangers franchise, and also obtaining one of the most iconic morphers, the legendary. Is it the legendary morpher? Um, I believe it's called. It's called something. I know it's a morpher, but it allows him to. Oh, the master morpher. There we go. And then allowed him to change into his various forms. The only one he never changed into was his Turbo Ranger suit, because he was the original Turbo Ranger, but then he gave his powers over to TJ, who was his successor. And although they had, the finale and things of the Power Ranger stuff there, that's for a different video, but TJ, our boy, did what he could. And I still don't fault him as being a strong Red Ranger. He did an amazing job and did the best he could. But he had a lot of big shoes to fill. So now with that out the way, most of the Power Ranger stuff here exclusively was just built off of, iconic things in the franchise. We did have monster exchangeable cards you can exchange for coins. If you had 5 of the power coins, which were used to replicate these were the Power Rangers variation of the rainbow medals. They were able to give you Rita Repulsa, Goldar, the Zeo Gold Ranger, and then the exchanges you could do for the other power coins allowed you to get, what was it? A Spee. It was a limited time one exchange for the Spee, and then you were able to do the Monster Point exchange for Alpha 5. Which is funny enough, because Alpha 5 only really did anything for just Power Ranger teams. Funny enough, there was no Power Ranger team badge, and if Power Rangers ever did come back, that'd probably be one of the things too. I would love to see what they would do though, because would they move to Zeo and then add the Ninja Rangers? Because there was a set of Ninja Rangers. Well, they were called the Alien Rangers, but they were based off of the Ninja Rangers that appeared in the Super Sentai. And there's a whole reason of that too. You just got to look at that online. I'll give you a Clip Notes version. So basically, they used the footage from the Super Sentai up until the point where they couldn't afford to get the new costumes. The Power Rangers movie happened. It was beautiful, monumental. Everybody remembers that. But then they became the Ninja Rangers during that season. And every one of the Rangers had a ninja outfit. Why? Because the Die Rangers that they were based off of got upgraded into ninja form. And Ninjor became their mentor. No, Ninjor led them. But then it was Ninjor leading them to basically move their powers over. It's whatever the Super Sentai wants to follow with their Rangers. But for us Power Rangers, there was a lot of contract stuff going on at the time. So they introduced the Alien Rangers for a season, which is basically the bridge between the Power Rangers, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and Power Rangers Zeo. So after Kimberly left, because her actress left, they added Kat into the scene. Kat then became the new Pink Ranger, and she was able to control the pink powers of the pink power, the pterodactyl power coin, as well as being able to use all of Kimberly's powers, and even more so, um, control the Zords. So she was able to control the Zords that the Pink Ranger can control. Oh, and she had to share a Zord with Tommy, because the Sentai series, like I told you, the ones that the Alien Rangers we had were based off of, they did not have a Pink Ranger. They had a white, a red, a blue, a green, and a black Ranger, but they did not have a Pink Ranger. Their leader was a female. She was the first female lead ranger we've had in the series, and she was the leader of the Alien Rangers, and she controlled the White Ninja Zord. That's right. She was the first girl to control um, the head Zord. Well, be the leader position and control the leader Zord, which was crazy because we never thought we were ever going to see that, but it happened. And then on top of that, once that once everything was finalized and set up for Zeo, they returned the Rangers back into their normal form. Tanya came in and replaced Aisha, and then they went on into Zeo. So that was just the lineup of things I wanted to tell you about, and why, in case anyone wonders why there's no pink Ninja Zord. Well, there's a pink Ninja Zord, but there's no pink Ninjetti. No, there's no pink Shogun Zord, because they were trying to make a pink Shogun Zord, but the footage that they had, they couldn't enter in a pink Ninja Zord. So she had to share the Zord with Tommy, who was the Right Ranger at the time. So yeah, there's your history lesson there. And then that was pretty much it for everything that you see here. There are skills and everything. The other exchange, of course, was that, just like most collaborations, you can go into the Monster Exchange and you can swap 7-star Godfest exclusives for the 7-star monsters that were featured in the collaboration, which were Mighty Morphin Red, Mighty Morphin Green, the Megazord, the Ranger Slayer, and Word Zed. Out of them, I honestly would say the Green Ranger was supposed to have the longevity, because then he can either become his evil counterpart, Lord Dragon, or he could become the White Ranger, and then those two had probably the best of the skills out of them, because of course they wanted to make Tommy, the big star of the show, because he eventually did become the big star of the Power Ranger series. And anyone who knows, Tommy was probably the most well-known Power Ranger in the franchise, because he not only carried the franchise literally on his back, but carried the franchise into the next generation, because we got a large portion of series of Tommy Oliver, who was played by the late Jason Frank, who passed away a few years ago, um, due to things that happened that I cannot explain on YouTube because I don't want to get flagged. So that unfortunately happened. And in Tweet Train, who was our original Yellow Ranger, and her powers were passed on to Aisha, who was the Yellow Ranger of Patel Zeo, and that was switched over to Tanya. Um, the longevity of things was that, yeah, everyone, not all the Rangers who started off the series ended through Power Rangers. Well, Mighty Morphin, to be more precise. Jason's actor did come back as the Gold Ranger. Then he had to give up his Gold Ranger powers as per to what was going on in the series. And then during the Turbo movie, Jason and Kimberly did make a reappearance as Amy Jo Johnson and Austin St. John did. Yeah, is it Austin St. John? Austin St. John made their appearance once again. There's a lot about the Turbo movie, and you gotta watch the Turbo movie to understand why that was important. So yeah, there's a lot of history with the Power Rangers, and so much of it I know because, of course, I'm a huge fan of the Power Rangers. I don't talk much about the Power Rangers though, because I talk about my anime and my Yu-Gi-Oh and stuff. But yeah, when it comes to the collaboration, let's talk about that. I was very excited for this. I know a couple of my friends were like, "Wait a minute, Puzzle and Dragons is getting Power Rangers?" I'm like, "Yeah," and it basically was an exclusive. It's not the first exclusive we got because our very first exclusive I think was Voltron, and we hadn't seen Voltron in years because Voltron did make a return, but it wasn't a welcome. It wasn't a heartwarming welcome for Voltron either. There's a lot of issues with the Voltron characters. A lot of the Voltron cards were not good, which unfortunately happens with a lot of the exclusives for NA server. And the whole thing about the meta and everything, and then keeping up with the meta just doesn't work out at points. Um, there are also a couple other collaborations we've had too that fallen off, and I kind of want to do some videos on them too. Most notoriety were the ones that were the DC collaboration, because I wonder, was it the reason why we never got Marvel as an actual thing, or was it because of Mickey that we never got the Marvel collab? Because if you guys know, a lot of collabs are exclusive to Japan. Which ones are they? Well, I can give you a handful of them. Dragon Ball Z, the Dragon Ball series, that's an exclusive to Japan, that we never got. We never got the Disney collaboration. It was one of the big collaborations that we wanted, because a lot of the cards were actually really, really good for like the years that they were supposed to actually come out. Never got them. We did get a Disney collab, but that's only because Gung Ho was the ones behind the mobile game that Disney was creating at the time. So they were like, yeah, okay, you can go ahead and use it for the NA server. And we did get it. And a lot of the cards were actually very, very useful for teams at that current time, which was literally earlier this year. And then after that, were there any other collabs I can think of? Oh, probably just anime stuff. Like Inuyasha, Case Closed, what was referred to as the Sunday afternoon collab. We would have called it like the Toonami block or something similar to that, where anime that was featured in that collaboration, because the copyrights cannot be added into the NA server. So we never got the first wave of Case Closed cards, the Inuyasha stuff. There's a couple others as well. We did get Bleach. We did get Persona. Oh, but we didn't get, from that situation, we didn't get One Piece, because there was a lot of One Piece fans that played Puzzle and Dragons were pissed we didn't get One Piece, and Luffy and them would actually would have rocked some shit. According to the stats in the lineups, they actually had some really good stuff added to them. But unfortunately, because of copyrights, we couldn't get those. So if you're wondering why we didn't get why the copyright situation was what it was here in America, simple. It's because of copyrights. There's nothing that can be done about it. We all have to sit here and look and smile and look pretty. And that's essentially what happened, was that because of the collab, we just couldn't get what we wanted out of Puzzles and Dragons for the NA server. And, with this collaboration, it was basically most of its cards were just the numbers apparently aligned with the Yokai Watch, but it was never confirmed or denied that this set was. No, it was confirmed that it wasn't a reskin of the Yokai Watch cards. It was just that they didn't have the copyrights to give us Yokai Watch. But for whatever reason, Samba was like, yeah, you guys can use Puzzle and Dragons. I mean, Power Rangers for Puzzle and Dragons. So, will we ever get a Puzzle and Dragons return of Power Rangers? I hope. It would be nice. It'd actually be really cool. Upgrade a lot of the cards, add in the Zeo Rangers for evolutions of the other Rangers. Maybe include the Zeozord, the second Zeozord, the Super Zeo Battle Zord. Maybe tease a bit of Turbo. I think the Machine Empire would be the next focus. Or maybe add Rito into it as well. Rito, Scorpina would be some nice additions. There's, the putties and stuff, add them into the collaboration. There's a lot of things you can easily do. It's just, unfortunately, copyrights and stuff will always be the banter of why collabs are very hard for Puzzle and Dragons to have. Because we have collabs. It's just very limited to what we're able to be exposed to. But, JJK didn't get a rerun I believe. I didn't even know JJK came the first time. Jujutsu Kaisen, I didn't know it even came the first time. So that tells you a lot right there. And we somehow or another was able to get um, the re, re, re the rerun of Demon Slayer. So I did pick up some Demon Slayer cards that did come. The really good ones too at that. Except for one, because I accidentally exchanged one card that I didn't know I had for one card I should have. No. I went in exchange for a card that I didn't need because I had it. I was supposed to exchange for the other card and okie doke and oops, didn't get it. So now my Doma team or Goma team, I think it's Doma team is not completely where it should be because I don't have the proper cards for the collaboration, unfortunately. I can't even substitute the card because no, I think I can sub the card, but the team's just gonna look very odd. And those who looked at it on Reddit, you kind of know why it looks as ugly as it does. But yeah, that's that's gonna be a good portion of that. But yeah, it's a lot that happens with Puzzles and Dragons, and a lot of us would have loved for Pat to come back over. I would have, because I definitely would have loved to play Puzzles and Dragons again. I mean, to go through the Power Rangers collab again. Especially just to honor the Power Rangers that have fallen, with the deaths of Jason Frank, Jason David Frank, who is the Mighty Morphin Green and White Ranger, the Zeo Red Ranger, the first Turbo Red Ranger, the Dino Thunder Black Ranger, and ultimately one of the legendary Ranger of all time. Yeah, the GOAT, as many will say he is. And then Tui Trank, who was our Yellow Ranger, who was actually the first of the many deaths of that were part of the franchise. And she passed away in 2000, unfortunately. Not going into that history, I think you guys should look that up if you want to know the history of the Power Rangers franchises, as well as those who unfortunately have fallen throughout the years. So, positive notes, positive things. This was a fun collab. This was a fun discussion. Actually, if you guys would like for me to talk about more of the Puzzle and Dragons history with other collaborations that we've gotten, do me a favor, leave some likes, comment and all of that, and I'll definitely see what I can do. Outside of that, really, there isn't much to go over. Except for, hey, this was a collab, this was a thing that I wanted to talk about, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. It's always a pleasure to do these videos and do a lot of this work. I really do appreciate it. So, thank you guys so much for that. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel if you have, if you would like to know when I do upload more content. You can hit that notification bell and be informed of when my new content gets uploaded. Social media links are in the description box below. And with that said, thank you guys so much for watching. HBJ signing out.